Welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show, a naturally wonderful place to live and a great place to do business. Featuring local business successes and visionaries, bringing tips, tricks, and inspiration to you. The podcast that embraces your local business community. And here's your host, Tony Curl.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here, and welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show. Now, this is episode 33. And the second in our 2022 series of the podcast. Now, last week we had some great feedback, of course, from our first episode of the third series with young Josh Kuskopf, the young video maker here in the Redlands, with his energy and his quest to help share the story of local businesses. So many people said they just know that he's going to be successful based on the energy that he shows. And so, Josh, really great response. Now, this episode, we move into the world of professional services, and more particularly the growing sector of life coaching. Now, coaching is a growing industry, and the 2020 ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation, reports that coaching practitioners, this is globally, coaching practitioners have increased by 33%. And the size of the industry in terms of revenue has grown at 21%. So anyone would say that's pretty big. That's since 2015. So those figures. So since 2015, there's 33% more coaches fundamentally, and 21% more dollars being generated in the industry. 2019 coaching globally was estimated to be US dollars $2.9 billion. Now, it is an industry where you need to be really clear in your differentiation of who you serve and what it is that you do. You need to be able to clearly define your niche and your customer. Because what we know is that not everyone can be Tony Robbins. We know that. Not everyone can be Tony Robbins. Nor does every client want a Tony Robbins. So you need to be really clear in your definition of who it is that you serve. While the revenue is obviously growing quickly, the growth of people calling themselves coaches is growing at a higher rate. And just for an example, at a recent Better Business workshop I conducted up on the Sunshine Coast, out of the 11 clients that were during doing the workshop, 5 of them were launching coaching practices. 5 out of 11 were launching coaching practices. So in every market, you have to be really clear on who you serve, but coaching even more so. So today's guest is Emily Woodward, and she is the Gentle Life Coach. Now, she is a transformational life coach, inspirational speaker who helps people clarify, design, decide for, and take action towards a life that's in harmony with their unique purpose. She inspires and empowers all those that are drawn to her to live their highest vision in context of love and happiness. Her passion is guiding clients to unlock their true potential, achieve brilliant success. I love that terminology, achieve brilliant success on multiple levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, working through challenges, healing relationships, finding more joy in their life, dealing with difficult emotions, and living authentically. Now, she loves working with people that align to her true values, which is love yourself, live your highest vision, and be happy. And after a word from our sponsor, it's my pleasure to welcome Emily Woodward to the podcast.
The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by tomorrow's best leaders. Increase your chances of business success by developing your leadership skills.
Learn how to overcome the challenges and obstacles to grow your business. Gain more clients and profits by enhancing your skills for people connection. The Essentials for Growth program. It's the leadership program for small business. It will help you grow your business and become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more today by going to tomorrowsbestleaders.com. Hey there, it's Coach Cole here, and it's my pleasure to welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show. Please welcome Emily Woodward, the Gentle Life Coach. How are you, Emily?
I'm really well, thank you, Tony, and it's lovely to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited because we connected at a Redlands Coast Chamber event. It was the launch of the Redlands Coast branding, and we by chance sat next to each other, and that was a really good event, and I really enjoyed and got intrigued by what it is that you do. So I'm really excited to be talking to you today on the Redlands Coast Business Show. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's talk about what a gentle life coach does.
Well, a gentle life coach coaches people, helps them move towards a life they'd absolutely love living. And the gentle part is I do it in a gentle way rather than cracking a whip and saying you must do it. Just encouraging, creating an atmosphere where people can really, really dig deep, find out what they really would bring them happiness and joy in their life and move toward it. But I must say, although it's gentle, the results are powerful, powerful changes in people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long have you been in business for, Emily?
My own business, The Gentle Life Coach, 3 years, since 2019. In the work that I'm doing, I came across a local newspaper article just the other day when I was searching through my files for something else. 1995, there was a business, McPherson Smith Consulting, because as women, we sometimes change our surnames, and I was the McPherson part of that. And that's when I started doing personal development courses and for women, just all sorts of courses way back then.
Yeah, excellent. So what compelled you to start your own business?
Really, since 1995, I have been doing it. Stepped out a little to concentrate on a career in education, but decided that it's time to leave that, left it, and had a few years traveling. Absolutely loved it. Decided the opportunity to coach came up, and it was just for me. I just wanted so much. It was what I had even done some coaching with teachers. It was just natural. So that's why I decided to step up and start my own coaching business.
Oh, that's excellent. It's so many people consider themselves a coach or want to get into coaching, but it's truly an art form, isn't it, Emily?
It takes a lot of... I've done a lot of learning along the way to bring to it. I totally agree. And there's different sorts of coaching, and it's important for people to find the coach that's right for them. But it is an art form. Totally agree.
So how would you describe the client or the customer that would be best, that you work best with?
Like possibly women. Women. Oh, my youngest client is 20, and my oldest is 72.
Okay.
But more typically, people in their perhaps late 20s, 30s, beyond. Women who've had some experience.
So predominantly women?
Skills. Yes, predominantly. I have worked with couples. I do have male clients, but predominantly women. Women who at a stage in life, they just a little bit of a longing to do something else, just need someone to help them get that momentum to bring that longing, the thing that long for thing into their lives.
Just as just while you're talking there, Emily, I'm thinking that you're an encourager type of coach that gets ultimately your ultimate responses come from that encouragement and the mannerism in which you operate. Have you had clients come to you that have had previous coaches that have worked with other types of coaches, maybe some of those hard style PT, personal training coaches that we often hear about, those real hard ones? Have you had some clients come across from that style that didn't work for them?
Sometimes, but and honouring psychologists as a whole, I've had people who've met with psychologists and it just hasn't worked for them, and therefore they've come to me, and that more gentle, slightly more often approach, meeting slightly more often, more moving forward approach of coaching and the encouraging has worked better for them. I've had quite a few people that they have sought me or been recommended.
In many ways, it must be about empowering the client to do what it is that they can see. And I don't necessarily want to use the word cheer squad, but it's almost like you're empowering people to reach out and attain something, and you're helping that encouragement and cheering them on, not necessarily from the sidelines, maybe right beside them to keep going. Have I captured that nicely or badly?
You've captured it very nicely. It brings that accountability. If a client chooses an action, there's always action. There has to be an idea, a clarity of what they're wanting to achieve, which I also very much help them to find and build. But then after that, there has to be action. There can't be, as they say, inspiration or vision without action. So that checking in each week and the small steps, not necessarily big steps, but so that we don't get the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, which can happen when we try to do things on our own. Absolutely, it is that. In fact, sometimes with one client recently who really had was quite stuck because of life circumstances and events. At one stage I said, she wasn't quite sure she believed results were possible. So I said, well, believe in my believing.
Yeah.
And can you believe that I believe that results are possible? And she said yes. And that's a great start.
Wow. And that's a great saying, believe in my believing. I love that. So, and you could see how that would breed confidence and within the client. Okay, if I don't necessarily believe in myself, I'm with someone who believes in me. Yeah. So, and once again, just thinking about that, but that's a great saying, just thinking about that, you don't want to let that person down. So you're probably going to do things that maybe are a little bit uncomfortable that as you reach and strive for success. That's awesome, Emily. That's really cool. With your own business journey, what have been some of the challenges that have confronted you?
Well, first of all, having been an employee in education for years, a business was quite new to me. So just starting a business was very exciting, but quite new. And always when one starts one's own business, there's that time before people know that you're there. How do I let people who my coaching would be what they're looking for? How do they know I'm there? So there is a time when I remember I had the little Lions Hall down at Cleveland and started there for my vision workshops, which is how I'd been trained. It was a great starting point. And of course, first time, went along, no one there, but it turned out well because there was almost a little seniors exercise group taking place and packing up as I moved in to set up. And in my mind, I knew I was going to do that presentation if no one was there, just very personal. But this lovely lady came over.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And she sat down and said, I'm going to sit and stay. And it was an incredibly wonderful experience. And she participated, wrote things in, got back to me, even said I was an angel, because it must have just been the right timing.
Oh, wow.
To hear the message. So that was a gorgeous experience. And then the next time, I think I had 2 people, but once again, the message I was able to give seemed to be the right one.
Yeah.
So getting past that, is it always going to be no one or one or two? It was a real holding the hope and belief for myself that this business would grow.
That's excellent. And I'm smiling because there have been many coaches, myself included, that have run events, or run a meetup group, or, those introductory things on Facebook, and you prepare and you got this presentation and everyone seems excited about it. You get down there and you set it all up, and then you might get 1 or 2. And I guess it's really nice to hear the way that you've approached that you were going to run the presentation anyway. It's good for your practice. One of the key things for anyone in a professional service is to get good at what it is that we do. So that's really cool. But to have that one person, sometimes they get the best workshops, don't they, when it's just the one person that shows up.
Lovely. And it turned out she was a neighbour, someone who I drove past her house to go to mine. So it was just beautiful experience.
So was there any time that you felt that you were failing?
I don't know that I ever felt I was failing, but certainly there were times when that little voice said, is this really, are you really going to keep doing this work? But the answer always comes back, no, this is what I'm here for. Sounds corny, but it gives great joy and purpose to my life. And so no matter what happens, it's I will continue this business.
And once again, a lot of people talk facts and figures about personal coaching and life coaching and business coaching and the sheer volume of money that sits within that particular marketplace. And there are some people that are in it for the money, and, at the end of the day, we all need to live and we all need to survive, but it's always lovely to speak with someone who's got a genuine purpose and want to desire to help and serve others. And I think you see that more and more with more often than not with coaches. They actually genuinely want to make a desire and an impact. And it's also good that, we acknowledge that sometimes our own feelings and thoughts aren't necessarily going to serve us if we sit there and listen to them. So it was pleasing also to understand that, that voice inside our heads, that we've got a way and a mechanism to sort of say, not necessarily disregard, maybe discount what it is that they're saying, and to maybe have another try. So Emily, let's talk about the Redlands Coast. We love the Redlands Coast. I met you at a Redlands Coast Chamber of Commerce breakfast event. What is it about the Redlands Coast that makes you passionate about where it is that we do business?
I think the people who live here really appreciate that it's not city. Like it's all the convenience of city, but we can walk to the water. It's green. The people live here by choice because it's not the traffic jams. It's just a more livable place for a much more balanced life in the Redlands. And people, they choose it for that reason. Yeah. They're family people.
Yeah. Why is it the best place for you to do business, do you think?
For those reasons, just because I'm sitting just in an upper room in my house, it's my office, and there's trees. I look up and there's greenery and there's sky. And if clients come, there's that beautiful sky and trees and connection with nature, which is just a wonderful atmosphere for coaching and for examining one's life and setting dreams. And also, I must say, the coffee shops, they're fabulous. There's a possibility of meeting people in a lovely coffee shop. It's just lovely, and so many choices of places to meet and to coach with.
So many positive things to like about the place. Tell me about your life mastery course, so what would that look like, or why would someone be attracted to doing the life mastery course that you have?
There are so many courses that I do. Life mastery is actually really great for someone who's had a little bit of experience or some work in abundance and manifestation, and the slightly, shall I say, more spiritual side, because a whole month is spent on setting intentions, and then another month is spent on health and well-being. And it's a lovely course, and another month is spent on love and relationships. So it's sort of, people can relax into it and just concentrate on one area for a month with meeting each week, compared to some of my other courses.
Okay.
Like Dream Builder is an introduction. It is really having a look at your life. And the illustration I use is, I said, have people seen a house being built? And after the ground is leveled, what's the next thing? The framework goes in.
Yeah.
And then the cement truck comes and pours. What happens if that framework's not there? So that's what Dream Builder is. It's the beginning of the dream. Whereas Life Mastery is people who really want to go further and master these different principles, laws, ideas in their life.
Excellent. I remember sitting next to you at the breakfast event and almost felt like I was getting a little bit of a mini coaching session as you were talking through some of your programs. So I think that's a real positive for people who get to meet you in a networking sense. So outside of the Chamber of Commerce, what other groups and how do you network within the area?
I am a member of BNI Genesis, which is a business network international, and wonderful connections there with all sorts of business people are there. So that is just a great way to let people know my business in depth, so that they're local, so they can share it with local people as appropriate. And then I also am part of Bayside Women in Business, and soon to be Redlands Women in Business.
Okay.
Just different nature. It's women, wonderful women who care about their businesses and so those are the main ones that I'm involved in. A women's group and a business group.
Now, if you had a magic wand, Emily, what is it that you would wish for to support the growth of business on the Redlands Coast?
Good venues, and we have some. And I know there were some applications for business help, but what would be wonderful would be some support for new businesses in particular from the very small starting stage, not because I think the other ones, a business had to be at GST registered level, which is an income of something like 75,000. So just some support for the smaller, the starting out businesses that are really small. I think that would be brilliant.
Excellent. And one of the things in with that is that to make those programs make people more aware of them, because I'm involved, as you know, with TAFE Small Business Solutions, and from March this year our new program is called the Cert for Entrepreneurship and New Business. So it's almost exactly what you're
Yes.
that can help small businesses bring in new business for themselves or create a new business. And now it's just the awareness. How do we make people aware of that so that it's affordable, there's subsidies? So it's that awareness process as well that's going to help with that. So what's the vision for you moving forward for your business?
The vision for me moving forward is to do more live presentations, because COVID arrived up to those little beginnings, and Zoom is incredible. And even beforehand, I was coaching people in America, and in Scotland. I've had a group with a couple of girls in Scotland and one girl here, all in one group, which has been fabulous. But I quite look forward to actually doing live presentations once again. So that would be a next step for me.
Excellent. So out of everything that you've accomplished over since you started your business or over the last couple of years, what are you most proud of, Emily? I'm
most proud of the people who've worked with me, the clients, and the results, the incredible changes in their lives. They're happier. I've had people staring at the wall during COVID because of depression and not being able to do the normal supportive thing, like going out. And one girl ended up being invited to do a TED Talk in her country.
Oh, wow.
And then another young woman just felt very stuck in the arrangement, which had been really good for her. Didn't really realise that she could change it, that it was within her choice and control, and is now happily living at the beautiful little seaside place, and her children are having the same wonderful growing up experience she had. That's just a few. People have found their dream house. They're just little things. They're the bigger ones, but these results happen. And yes, I'm proud to have been able to walk that journey with them.
Excellent. And you can see that joy and satisfaction just in your face as you're talking through that, Emily. So that's so cool. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
I don't believe there is. Just I'm so pleased to have a chance to talk to you. Perhaps to mention that one course I do might be quite helpful to people, and it's called Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking. That's just a little 4-session thing that can be quite helpful in times such as these.
So what was it called again, Emily?
Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking. It's just really
I know so many business.
And I have presented it as Standing Firm When Your Business is Shaking for on a webinar too. So it goes, it's personal and business. It's wonderful for both.
And much needed. The world is certainly still in chaos. It shows no signs of letting up or getting out of it. So those sorts of things a workshop like that, a little reminder, a refresher for people is always going to come in handy. So the very last question, Emily, how can people connect with you?
They can connect with me through my website, which is gentllifecoach1@gmail.com. And on there are some Calendly links, and my phone number, which is 38226754.
No worries. I'll make sure that we've got your website links on the show notes. Are you on Facebook, Emily?
I am on Facebook as Gentle Life Coach.
Okay. So I'll make sure as Gentle Life Coach. No worries. I'll make sure all of your links are in the show notes. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for
you.
Absolutely. And let's hope that someone, you've connected with someone today, and what you do is exactly what they're looking for. Any support for our small business people in a way that's encouraging and supportive is always always long overdue. So thank you so much for your time today, Emily.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you, Tony.
And now it's time for Tony's 2 cents. Now, one of the learnings I have as a Maxwell leadership coach is in the development of influence. Now, there are times in a leader's lifetime or career or business where they will want to build greater influence that helps them succeed. Now, influence can be this fluctuating thing at times. You know, you may have it with some people, you may have it in some areas of your life, but these may not be the areas where you need to have influence to help you succeed, whether it's a career success or whether it's a business success. After all, as John Maxwell tells us, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The ability for us to develop influence in our lives and our businesses is really important for our continued success. Now, the big learning from a leader is that leaders have a responsibility to develop more leaders. Makes some sense, doesn't it? A leader has a responsibility to develop more leaders. And part of that process is sometimes you are going to lend your influence as a leader to the leader that you're mentoring. You are going to lend them part of your influence. Now, this may come in a recommendation, it may come with an introduction. But these are a two-way street. So the leader is lending you some of their influence by way of that introduction, by way of that recommendation. But what it is also doing is committing you to deliver quality product so as not to let that leader down. It helps build trust within that relationship when you can deliver for whoever it is that you've been introduced to or recommended to. It creates this environment where we need to deliver quality, and that helps build trust in any relationship. So if you borrow that influence and then not honor that, it's really unlikely that you will get that influence back again. Which is much like what Emily spoke to when she spoke about some of her clients wanting to believe in believing. Believe in Emily's belief in them. Now, if someone doesn't have self-belief, the fact that Emily believes in them provides the environment for that client to tap into that, work with it, and ultimately provides commitment, action, and hopefully results as the client taps in and builds from that concept of Emily's belief in them. It's a great way to commit, and it's a great way to succeed. It's a great way to think, because often many of us will not see the true potential which we have. We may be limited by our own beliefs and lack of self. So whether that's self-belief, whether that's self-esteem, lack of self, and the ability to tap into someone else's belief on us helps us grow, succeed, and ongoing be better at what it is that we do. So once again, thanks to Emily for coming on the Redlands Coast Business Show, and of course all of her links are in the show notes. And as always, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Redlands Coast Business Show. I hope that you found it valuable and you've taken away your key insights to help your business grow. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, just reach out. Please reach out at redlandscoastbusiness.com.au. Let's connect and let's get you on the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this episode, because that's the only way you'll get notified of when we next chat to another great Redlands Coast business. The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by the Essentials of Growth Small Business Leadership Program by Tomorrow's Best Leaders. Developing your leadership is essential for your small business growth. The success of your small business is largely dependent on the level of your leadership that drives it. Leaders are responsible for productivity, employee morale, and innovation, and this program provides the tools to help leaders grow their business. This program will take you on a journey to help you lead, engage, connect, lead your personal journey to build leadership skills to help you be more productive and effective. And as you develop your self-leadership skills, you'll be more energized and driven to achieve your goals. Engage. Your leadership skills enable you to build the best team that you can. Empowering and developing them is a key aspect to building the best business performance. Connect. The way we connect with others, build relationships with our clients and our team. Building your leadership helps you connect and build trusted relationships. It's designed for your busy lifestyle with access to micro-learnings and activities monthly that drive the best possible outcomes in the most effective use of your time. And it's all brought together with a personalized coaching session monthly. Learn more today at tomorrowsbestleaders.com. I hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Redlands Coast Business Show. We hope you found it a valuable resource for you and your business journey. Tune in next time for more local business stories. We'll see you then.